Welcome to the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, locked on Big 12 and right here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Addie Bates produces. Roy Lee runs the board, and welcome to the biggest waste of your time possible. It's the college football offseason. It's still the NFL offseason, and you know what my favorite day is? AP Poll Day. You know what my second favorite day is? The day after AP Poll Day, because I get to react to the disaster, to the waste of time, to the succubus of college football, the AP poll. Good morning. I'm going to open this up to you. If you're a Texas A&M fan, if you're a Notre Dame fan, an Ole Miss fan, if you love BYU, SMU, Louisville, 310-840-4910. If you feel like your college football team has been slighted, and you know what? Can I preface this conversation by telling you this is not something that I ever believed I would present to the world? That the next words that I give you, the next take that I give you, is not something that's in my DNA, not something that I ever thought that I would open a piece of content with. But the Texas Longhorns are underrated. He said it. He did it. He said it. The Texas Longhorns at number 5 should be maybe the most perturbed team out of the AP Top 25 in this preseason poll. Why? Because the Texas Longhorns are the best team on paper in college football in 2026. Whether it's the Arch Manning factor you want to go to, the front 7 on defense, the best in college football, one of the best portal classes led by Cam Coleman, the best wide receiver in college football, coming from Auburn to Texas, the Longhorns are the best team in college football. What was their gift? What was their hello to the season? After 10-3 last year, going into this year with Cam Coleman and Arch Manning, not to mention, again, the best defensive front in the sport, the best box in the sport. What's your gift? The number 5 spot in the preseason AP poll. Disaster. Joke. Those are the words that come to mind. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. 310-840-4910. Did your team get robbed? Do you feel slighted today by the college football gods? Hold on, pause. Pause. When you say college football gods, what do you mean? What's that mean? Like, what is the Associated Press top 25 preseason poll? Who votes on this? How did we get here? Well, you know, the poll itself is voted on by 40 some odd journalists across the country. And when I say journalists, I don't mean people that necessarily cover college football. I mean the guy who works for the Tupelo Daily Times gets an AP poll vote. And that guy, that gal, they put 25 of their top 25 college football teams into a hat, shake it up, and then cast it out. To the point that the kid from the Tupelo Morning Times who votes for the AP poll could tell you that, I don't know, Southern Miss is a close team. Put them at 19. I don't know. LSU's a big logo. Put them at 10. Florida, they're usually good, right? What if we put Florida at number 7? And you have teams from last season that were 3-9, 4-8, like the Florida Gators, that creep their way into the preseason top 25. Why? Well, because the local beat writer down the street in Tupelo thought so. Can you tell me that when Cameron Cox from KPNX TV sits down to vote for their AP poll, that they can tell me the distinct reason why LSU is better than BYU? Can they give me 5 players that make Indiana better than Ole Miss? Can they give me 5 players that make Ohio State better than Georgia or Texas? This is a poll made up of people who don't have to watch college football. As someone myself who loves college football, every time I see the AP poll, I think, who is Dave Pascal of the Chattanooga Times Free? Because he now has a say in where Texas is in the college football rankings. Or Dylan Sin from the Journal Gazette. Are you kidding me? The Journal Gazette. The outdated way in which we vote on the AP poll. the outdated way in which these AP polls are pitched is part of the problem for the AP poll. And what else you might be saying? Well, you might be like, okay, it's a moot conversation here. I'm a little perturbed that Texas wasn't top 3. I'm a little mad that A&M wasn't top 5. Yeah, I'm upset that Oklahoma didn't get as much respect as I wanted them to. But the numbers don't matter. Play the games in the field. Nope, wrong. And here's why that's wrong. Because we elevate college football games that have numbers beside them. What that means? Explain that. Well, if number 1 Texas is playing number 2 Ohio State, that garners more viewership than if, let's say hypothetically, number 14 Texas plays unranked Ohio State. These rankings, they create the sex appeal of college football. We are allowing someone from wildcatreport.com or the Northeast Mississippi Daily to determine how we watch college football, to determine where we are in college. Like Cokie Riley. I like Cokie Riley, by the way. He's from the Baton Rouge. He's from the Advocate in Baton Rouge. But Cokie has Minnesota in the top 25. Confusing. Cokie has Houston above Texas Tech. I've got questions there. Cokie has LSU, who lost to in a bowl game a season ago, as the number 6 team in the country. And guess what? He can. The guy in Baton Rouge can overrank LSU because he's in Baton Rouge. It's the Drake Toll Show, 310-840-4910. Does this sound like a stupid concept, the way the AP poll is voted upon? Does this sound a little outdated to you? Well, it did to Mike Leach. When it came to talking about the AP poll or the college football playoff committee, these committees, these polls, these rankings, and how we get to them, how we get to like my initial visceral reaction, like, oh, Texas at 5? You're talking about one of the best college football teams in the country at 5? Behind Ohio State, who's ranked number 1, Oregon at 2, Georgia 3, Notre Dame 4. The first thing I want to look at, I do it every year. It's my annual tradition, is this time every year I look at the AP poll voters and say, what? Who gave these people authority over college football? Mike Leach agrees. Mike, before his passing, the former head coach of the Mississippi State Bulldogs, and Leach, the Texas Tech legend, spent time at Washington State, helped reinvent offenses in the sport. And Leach, also a massive advocate for 64-team college football play, had some of the most strange ideas about college football you could conjure up. But he was very clear on one thing. Committees, polls, how we get to these polls was not something that was kosher to him. Here is Mike Leach.
Let's have a committee, because why not? Because, we're American. We love committees. Well, who should be on the committee? Well, I don't know. This guy's a good guy. Let's have him on the committee. Well, I mean, there's people on the committee that don't even have remote associations with football, nor have they at any level other than being a fan. But you know what? Let's have them on a committee. Why not?
Surely those who write for the Lawton Constitution or, again, the Northeast Mississippi Daily, they're good people. They mean well, the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. But, man, if Mike Leach, God rest his soul, didn't hit the nail on the head here by saying, let's have a committee of a bunch of people with no association to college football whatsoever. And it doesn't go across the board. Like Reese Davis probably watches a whole lot of college football. It's an AP poll voter. Makes a lot of sense that Reese Davis is in there. But I look at the brokers of how we rank teams, look at teams in college football, and I question how do we get this credential? And Steve Sarkisian, you want to go for that? That's Mike Leach with just a legendary, we love committees, we're American. That's what we do as committees. Steve Sarkisian, whose team is ranked 5th, and I think maybe the most slighted of the top 10 teams, was also very clear on how he feels about these polls. Steve?
Some degree, the CFP, when it starts coming down to it, I'm sure looks at the polls as one of the barometers to say, what does the media think of the teams that are playing right now? But that's a piece of it. Years ago, that was the determining factor. There was 2 polls. There was a coach's poll, the AP poll, and that determined the national champion. Different today. I love the polls for this. I love the polls for college football for the fans, for the excitement, for the marquee matchups, for all those things. I love the polls for all that. But the polls internally, they just don't matter. They're really irrelevant. And I think we've gotten to a point now as a team to understand that what matters is how we play each and every Saturday, and the preparation and the intent in the work that we do to get ready to play, and then ultimately the way we play. That's ultimately what matters. The scoreboard matters now more than ever, which is a crazy thing to say, but that's ultimately what matters.
Did you hear that? Did you hear the ball knowledge he just gave you? In our four walls here at the University of Texas, that's Steve Sarkisian, the head coach of the Longhorns, we don't care. The only thing this poll does is it feeds the public. It's radio talk. That people can deduce whether or not their team is going to be good because someone from the Hartford Courant or the San Jose Mercury News said so. This is slop to feed the college football fan, to hold them over until college football season. Look, something to talk about, something to look at, something to see. And you know how ineffective the AP poll is? You know how bad the AP poll is year in and year out? Since the year 2000, only two teams that when you walk to the water cooler today, and your buddy is like, hey, man, you see Indiana's ranked 6th after winning the national championship? I mean, right? Don't you think that we figured this whole thing out with Kurt Signetti? Why aren't we ranked higher than 6th? When you walk to the water cooler today, and your buddy is an Alabama fan who's like, this is the first time since 2008 we've been ranked outside the top 10. I don't know how to handle myself. And you walk into the room and your buddy says of Penn State that missed a bowl game, how are they 18th in the nation? Here's what I want you to know. When they're confused why Missouri is 25th or Iowa is in the top 25. Here's what I want you to know. Weary college football traveler. Since the year 2000, only two teams that started number 1 in the preseason AP poll actually won the national championship. We are terrible. Sorry, Ohio State, who is the preseason number 1. We are terrible at predicting who is going to win. We are terrible at predicting who's going to win at the top. Sorry to the Hartford Courier. And they don't just miss the title. Many have collapsed altogether. 2012, USC, number 1 team in the country. They went 7-6, finished completely unranked. Nearly half of all ranked teams. I mean, this is the stat. This is the figure you want to bring to the water cooler. 43% of all teams ranked in the first AP Top 25, the preseason AP Top 25, drop out of the rankings altogether by the end of the season. August voters throw a dart at a board. Nearly half the teams they highlight turn out to be average or worse. And by and large, it's also a logo game. This is the who can you name? Which college football team can you name game? They sit all these reporters down in a room at the local journal, and they say, name a team. Miami. Good team. You name a team. Ohio State. Yep, that's a team. You back. Big team college football. Notre Dame. Yeah, good. Even better. And after we compile all these logos, mostly Big Ten, SEC, put them in a blender and subjectively throw them against the wall and say, look, it's the poll. It's the thing that we do. It's the poll. It's a logo contest. So that's where, if you look at the biggest losers of this poll, and we'll look at that throughout today, a Texas Tech being outside the top 10, a BYU who returns the number 2 amount of starters in the country, the number 3 most total production of the country at 14. Like, you finished last year in the top 10, yes. And you brought everybody back and then some out of the portal, yes. We're going to drop you 4 spots. What? Or looking at a Tennessee who was really good, but right at expectations last year in the Southeastern Conference. Brought a lot of players back. Same situation. Teetering top 15 end of the year. Going to next year, 20th. Wow. Or a Houston who beat LSU in that bowl game that I talked about. They bring everybody back, including their quarterback. In the positions they didn't bring someone back, they got a higher rated transfer. Where they ranked 23rd. They dropped 5 spots from last year's final poll. How? Well, because that logo just isn't good enough. Because BYU doesn't drive the conversation, because Texas Tech is that logo is not better than LSU. LSU lost in the Texas Bowl last year, the number 11. Texas Tech went to the playoff, the number 12. Why? Oh, because your logos, the colors aren't good. They don't match. because you're not a big enough brand. Why is Indiana 6? Why are they outside the top 5 after winning the national, going 16-0, winning the national title last year, making the college football playoff the year prior under Kurt Signetti? Why are they 6? Well, because their logo's not hot enough. How do I know that? Because the Northeast Mississippi Journal, that's who decides which college football, if your college football team is worthy, should bother you a little bit. It's Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. He did it again. He did it again. Jerry Jones showed up at camp yesterday, and he said the thing. The magic words. I'll reveal them to you next. This is the Drake Toll Show.
It's getting to the point where I'm no fun anymore. I am sorry. Sometimes it hurts so badly I must cry out loud. I am lonely. I am yours. You are mine. You are what you are. You make it hard. Remember what we've said and done and felt about each other. Oh, babe, have mercy. Don't let the past remind us of what we are not now. I am not dreaming. I am yours. You are mine. You are what you are. You make it hard. Tearing yourself away from me now. You are free. And I am crying. This does not mean I don't love you. I do. That's forever. Yes, and for always. I am yours. You are mine. You are what you are. You make it hard. Something inside is telling me that I've got your secret. Are you still listening? Here is the lock and laughter, the key to your heart. And I love you. I am yours. You are mine. You are what you are. You make it hard. And you make it hard. And you make it hard. And you make it hard. Friday evening, Sunday in the afternoon. What have you What have I got to lose? Will you come see me Thursdays and Saturdays? Hey, hey, hey. What have you got to lose?
Jerry did it again. It's my favorite part of the year. Let's see, there's May, there's June, there's July, there's Jerry, there's September, there's October. This time every year, like clockwork, we get to camp and Jerry Jones be saying stuff. And Jerry hit the nail on the head yesterday because I told you after the Dallas Cowboys brought Von Miller on the 2 nights ago and signed him to a 1-year deal, the first ballot Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer, 138.5 sacks in his career, 9 sacks. We talked about it all day yesterday, 310-840-4910, is that now the Dallas Cowboys have told you squarely, we want to bolster a defense that can win. We want to win in 2026. And some years, when we get to the month of Jerry, the Cowboys aren't always telling you they want to win. Jerry's telling you, like we'll spend on my time, on my terms. We'll get guys as we can. Obviously, we want to compete. And you don't believe it. You see right through it. That's usually the case this time of year. But I said it yesterday. I said the Cowboys are a piece away. They're a trade away. They're one blockbuster defensive player away from the Dallas Cowboys being contenders in the NFL. And then what happened yesterday? Jerry, you tell me, would you make a, quote, substantive trade right now before the season starts?
Yes. If we had an opportunity, I would be.
Is it more of a wait-and-see thing?
And it's as much about what I think of where we are, which I'm more positive than when we started camp, seriously, about what our chances are. And so I think if we saw an opportunity to take a little of the future and put it on this team, I'd do it if it would help us.
The first thing that I think Jerry is projecting to you is the same thing you keep telling me. We've had great calls the last 2-3 weeks that have all said similar things, that the Cowboys understand Jerry's getting old. What happens the older we get? The older we get, the closer we are to death, to dying. And Jerry has told you he wants to win multiple Super Bowls before he dies. So it's given Cowboys fans this idea, this thought that, okay, if Jerry believes that he might die, then he's got to start doing something now. What is that? Let's untie it then. It's the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12. Addie Bates produces. Roy Lee runs the board. Let's untie it. Good morning. What Jerry is telling you is I'm going to go. I'm going to be open to the big trade, to the big name. What Jerry is telling you is that I'm going to go find the teams. What I need to do is find the teams like the Giants. Find the teams like the Cardinals or the Raiders. Find the teams that might not be very good this year and might want to offload some weight, might not want to pay their guys. I'm going to go to the Giants, who are already reevaluating long-term core pieces, defensively, especially as the whole landscape shifts under John Harbaugh. I call them up and say, hey, Kayvon Thibodeau, what's he up to? Like, I don't know. He's just running around at training camp. All right, fine. We'll send a second-round pick in 2027 and a fourth-round pick in 2027 to the Giants. If you want to stock up draft picks to bolster your quarterback Jackson Dart, your running back Cam Scatterbo, your wide receiver Malik Neighbors, if you want to bolster that and do what the Cowboys did in 2025, be really good offensively, but defensively save some money, we'll help you do that. We'll take Kayvon Thibodeau. That's the kind of blockbuster trade that makes the Dallas Cowboys a contender. A name like Max Crosby, same thing. You call up Vegas. Hey, I know Max Crosby, the guy who got in a fight with your quarterback in practice a couple of weeks ago. Max Crosby, the guy you tried to trade to the Ravens, had agreed to a trade with the Ravens, and a doctor's the one who said, no, can't do it. I know that Max Crosby is probably not very happy in Las Vegas. I'm Jerry Jones. Would you take a 2028 first-round pick, a 2029 first-round pick, and a 2029 fourth-round pick? If I'm the Cowboys, if I'm Jerry, I want to, at this point, take the almost this Les Snead, he's the GM of the Rams, this Les Snead Rams approach of take my draft picks. I need to win now. I don't want the rookie who materializes in 2 or 3 seasons. Take my draft picks. I want to win now. I'm going to go all in on the blockbuster. If I can get a Max Crosby to play alongside Quinnen Williams, a Max Crosby to play alongside Von Miller, even if Von Miller, Addy said it yesterday, give you 10 to 15 plays a game, then Von Miller is valuable for the Cowboys defense, can change the Cowboys defense, namely how bad the Cowboys were defensively last year. A guy like that is going to help you. You then throw Max Crosby in the fold in a proposed trade, and the Cowboys are competitive again. 310-840-4910. You can listen to the entirety of the Drake Toll Show on the Westwood One Sports app, the Drake Toll Show YouTube channel, or Sirius XM 375. By the end of yesterday's show, here's what I had gotten around to, the concept that I got around to. I want to share it with you as well as I wrap up this Dallas Cowboys segment. The Cowboys went 7-9-1 last year. You told me that defense wins championships. If that's true, then the transitive property tells me that defense wins games. The Cowboys won games last year. They were far away from 500. How? One of the best offenses in the National Football League. How do you have the 32nd ranked defense, give up more points than anybody? Your opponents average 30.1 points per game, yet you still win almost half your games, 7-9-1. How do you do that? An elite offense. The Cowboys still have the elite offense. They've built on the defense, and they are one more piece, one trade piece away from having it figured out defensively. They're a Max Crosby away. They're a Kayvon Thibodeau away. And Jerry knows it. Question is, when Jerry said he's open to a big trade, is he blowing hot air up your skirt, or is it real? This is Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. The Drake Toll Show. 310-840-4910. The phone line, the text line is open. You know what's closed? Christian McCaffrey in training camp. McCaffrey yesterday. I don't think this is electrical substation related, by the way. McCaffrey was held out of practice due to tightness. Or is McCaffrey holding in practice because of, quote, tightness? You know what I might have? By the way, that electrical substation is the power plant that is positioned right next to the facilities in San Francisco and is apparently rotting the limbs, the ligaments of 49ers players who are at camp. And that's why they've been top 10 injuries the last 10 years in the NFL because of the substation and the electromagnetic waves that are eating these dudes alive. But I don't think that's the case for McCaffrey. I have a conspiracy theory. McCaffrey is set to make $12.5 million this year. $12.5 million, if you'll remember, is a stark contrast to the numbers that I gave you a week ago when we had the great running back sweepstakes. We'll look back at the year 2026 and say, remember that week that everybody got paid? Well, who is everybody? Jahmyr Gibbs just got $22.5 million per year on a 3-year extension with the Detroit Lions. Bijan Robinson, $22.25 million a year, the second highest paid running back of all time behind Jahmyr Gibbs. Bijan paid by Atlanta. Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts, $22 million a year. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I just gave you? The McCaffrey this season stands to make $12.5 million. So the first question I asked, where the conspiracy theory comes from, is McCaffrey looking across the league and saying, whoa, hey, last year at a banged-up year in San Francisco, they had me and not much else, to the tune of 311 carries, the second most in the National Football League. Christian McCaffrey last year ran the ball more times in a season than he has in his entire career. Healthy all 17 games. The best abilities availability. 1,200 yards on the ground. 10 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey was with 102 receptions and 924 receiving yards to boot. Did you hear that? 102 receptions, 924 receiving yards to boot. Christian McCaffrey gave the 49ers everything in 2025 and says, I'm getting $12.5 million this year, and I look across the league, and those guys just signed extensions. McCaffrey helped hold the 49ers together last season. McCaffrey drove the 49ers to the postseason, helping them knock off the Philadelphia Eagles on the road in the wild card before the defense of the Seattle Seahawks was too much for the Niners to deal with. McCaffrey, in a year where Brock Purdy was banged up half the season and Mac Jones started 50% of the 49ers games, the franchise looked to Christian McCaffrey and said, we need the franchise running back to will us. And McCaffrey did it. And now looks across the league and says, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, they're getting paid. There's some contract extensions worth $22.5 million a year, and I'm set to make $12.5 million a year. Hell, man, I'd probably sit out for some tightness too. I'd probably have a little tightness in the lower body days after Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs reset the running back market. I'm Christian McCaffrey. I should be resetting the running back market. And the conspiracy theory that McCaffrey might be holding in, like, hey, I'm just reminding you guys, I don't have to be here. I don't have to practice. I can have tightness. Maybe that is an effort to hypnotize the 49ers into saying, you know what, you're right. If Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs can push the money for a running back in the NFL to $22.5 million, then I can have something like that. And if I can't, I can stop practicing. Combined last year, 413 touches. That was the most in the National Football League. On PFT Live on Monday, the prevalent theory pushed is there was the thought last year that McCaffrey wanted more money before the year began, and that didn't happen. And if McCaffrey did want more money going into 2025, he certainly wants more money going into 2026, as he might be the best running back in the National Football League and is not getting the payday. I didn't see the extension of a Bijan Robinson, of a Jahmyr Gibbs, of a Jonathan Taylor. Now that the market has been reset, it opens the door for a Saquon Barkley, for a Christian McCaffrey, for a Derrick Henry to say, nope, I want to get paid too. In a world where, listen to this, in a world where Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, and Jonathan Taylor are the three names that have reset the running back market, don't you think Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, and Saquon Barkley, who aren't in that top three, don't you think those guys all have a gripe to go to their GM and say, I want to get the same payday as Jahmyr Gibbs? Christian McCaffrey want to get the same payday as Bijan Robinson or Jonathan Taylor. And if I don't, oh, my right hamstring's feeling a little tight today. Maybe I should sit out, coach. I stand personally with Christian McCaffrey in this battle as the running back market has been reset, and McCaffrey is not the one who reset it. It's Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. You know, there is one team out of the AP poll that is so grossly underranked that if they don't make the college football playoff, I'm going to lose a lot of money already. Which team needs your bet in 2026? That's up next. This is the Drake Toll Show. The USC Trojans. They got a Heisman caliber quarterback, Jaden Mayava, going into 2026. Lincoln Riley, one of the best offensive minds in college football. I still believe that. Remember the old Oklahoma coach, Lincoln Riley? And the quarterback whisperer, Lincoln Riley. Oh, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray. Can I interest you in any of those? Caleb Williams, Heisman winner at USC under head coach Lincoln Riley. And now Jaden Mayava, the next name in a long list of Riley quarterbacks that have been successful. USC is one of the most underrated teams in this year's top 25. And I think that USC will be a college football playoff team come the end of the year. Here are my two. I've got two teams when I saw the AP poll yesterday. So I was like, what? That truly felt like, okay, here's my value pick to make the college football playoff this year, if there is one. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. And the teams that are neglected in the AP poll are our biggest losers of the day. Biggest loser of the day, number one, USC. Here's your value pick, man. This is my value pick to make the college football playoff. The USC Trojans. And Jaden Mayava is not even reason number one. Instead, it's the idea that USC has completely revamped defensively. What have they been missing? The defense. So what did they do? They went out and got Gary Patterson. You want me to tell you a story? You want me to tell you this is awesome. I'm with Gary Patterson, the defensive coordinator at USC, last December, and we're sitting down at a restaurant in Fort Worth. He took me to this local watering hole kind of steakhouse place, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We played guitar together. We had a cute little date. We had a little date day. And Coach takes me out of this little steakhouse. We're eating lunch. And I'm like, so you're really going to do it? He's like, yeah, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to take this job. Like, he's fired up. Like, he's really excited to be back in college football. He's the Hall of Famer, was the head coach at TCU for over 20 years when TCU went on this crazy run. And I said, Coach, have you looked at their schedule? And he looks at me and said, no, I haven't. I said, all right, let's do it. We sat in this steakhouse in Fort Worth, Texas in December, and he pulls his phone out and he says, Siri, just the old man thing. Hey, Siri, University of Southern California football schedule. We pulled it up together. I was like, he's like, all right, we have San Jose State, Fresno State, Louisiana. I was like, win, win, win. I'm counting the wins down with them as go down. Then we realized USC plays Oregon, Washington, Penn State. Those are 3 straight games. Number 2, Oregon, 17th ranked Washington, 18th ranked Penn State on the road. They also play number 1 Ohio State and at number 6 Indiana in back-to-back weeks. The schedule's brutally hard. But what a brutally hard schedule gives you for Gary Patterson and the number 1 recruiting class in America and a defense that's young but much improved, what it gives you is an opportunity to win. It's an opportunity to bolster your resume. It's an opportunity to go 10-2 and still make the 12-team college football playoff. I think that's what Gary Patterson's team is going to do, what his defense is going to do, and Lincoln Riley and company make the CFP. If you want them to, that is the USC Trojans, to win the college football playoff, those odds are 3,500. So your $100 bet pays out $3,500 if they win the college football playoff. Am I willing to go that far? I don't think so. But USC is a college football playoff team. Another college football playoff team, if anything for their schedule alone, is BYU. The AP poll has grossly underrated USC and BYU. It's our biggest losers of the day on the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. USC's 15th in the country, underrated. BYU's 14th in the country, underrated. I can give you a list of names of players and why I think that's the case. And I will. I can. I'll keep it brief. But let's look at the schedule for BYU. Utah Tech, win. Arizona at home, that's a win. Colorado State is a win at TCU. BYU returns the 3rd most production in America. They'll beat the Horned Frogs. Utah Tech, Arizona, Colorado State, TCU. None of those teams are ranked. Iowa State. That's not a ranked team. 5-0 for BYU. Then you get number 4 Notre Dame. One of 2 ranked games on your schedule. This is the only top 20 game on BYU's schedule, and it's in Provo, Utah. Your first 5 games are wins. You get Notre Dame. You can afford to lose that one. UCF, Arizona State, Utah, who's number 21 in the country, on the road. That's a tough game. Baylor, Kansas, Cincinnati. If you're a college football fan, which game did I read off outside of Notre Dame are you genuinely scared of? That's BYU's schedule with the 3rd most returning production in the country on a team that won 12 games last year. BYU is in position to make the college football playoff. BYU is better than the number 14 team in the country. They finished top 10 last year and brought back everybody. And the players they didn't bring back, they supplemented in the transfer portal with Cal linebacker Kedu Lave, who's one of the best linebackers in the country. 4-star wide receiver Kyler Casper out of Oregon. They went and stole the 4-star, the tight end Walker Lyons from USC out of the transfer portal. And you're going to tell me that BYU, the team that reloaded, playing in the Big 12 with that schedule, is 14th? No. It's a college football playoff team. That's a bang for your buck pick. USC and BYU with the 2 biggest losers of the AP poll. Let's keep it in our biggest losers of the day with the Atlanta Falcons. From the college football ranks to the NFL, the Falcons might be the saddest team of all time. Tua Tagovailoa and the Falcons were so bad this weekend, they were booed. They were booed by their own fans in a preseason game. Let's go straight to the horse's mouth. The starting quarterback for training camp for the Atlanta Falcons, because Michael Penix Jr. is injured, is Tua Tagovailoa. Here's what Tua had to say after an embarrassing performance with the Falcons lost 27-7.
Definitely not up to standard, not even up to par. We'll start with the first drive, the second play, being able to catch the snap, little things like that. Just thinking about it, like what we put out there is not a reflection of the hard work that we've put in the first 2 weeks.
I think what you put out there was a reflection of the Atlanta Falcons, who went into halftime of their preseason game against the Broncos down 24-0. And they were booed relentlessly. Cooper Rush took the most reps at quarterback for Atlanta. He was 7 for 19, 62 yards, 2 interceptions. 7 for 19, 62 yards, and 2 interceptions. That's a 6.8 rating. I can count that high. Do you realize that if Tua Tagovailoa and Michael Penix Jr. get injured this year, which is just like, where's that? Where do I put down money on that bet? That if Tua and Michael Penix Jr. miss time this year, Cooper Rush is your starting quarterback, who in training camp, in preseason against plumbers and accountants, went 7 for 19, 62 yards, 2 interceptions. Tua went 3 for 5, 22 yards, and that was it. Between Cooper Rush, Tua Tagovailoa, and Jack Strand, the 3 quarterbacks who played in the preseason this weekend for Atlanta, they were a combined, listen to these numbers, a combined 16 for 36, 133 yards. That's a 3.7 average. That's a 3.7 yards per pass average, and 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. 16 for 36 on a 3.7 yards per pass average is so bad. And the running game was no better. Now, Bijan Robinson only got 2 carries for 6 yards. It's the preseason. Come on, guys. But the team combined 23 carries, 59 yards. That's 2.6 yards per carry. The Atlanta Falcons are a disaster. Again, disaster to the point their own fans in their stadium, in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, booed them off the field in a preseason game. Here's the Broncos head coach, Sean Payton, he's walking off the field, said, I've never heard this before.
And, Coach, thank you. We know you win here in Atlanta, and it looks like you're going to continue that streak.
People dressed up as empty seats today, so anyway.
Thanks, Coach.
Well, yeah, they had left by halftime. Why would you stay? Tua, Cooper Rush, Jack Strand are the options in Atlanta. And maybe the saddest part of the whole thing, by the way, is Kevin Stefanski won a playoff game, went to the playoffs with the Cleveland Browns. And Atlanta saw what Kevin, he said, I see what you've done for them. I want what you've done for them. I want that for us. Stefanski walks into Atlanta, gets blown out 27-7 in his first preseason game, and his team gets booed off the field. Addie, we got a team that is strung together with tape, Band-Aids, and glue. They're the Atlanta Falcons.
You're telling me that doesn't work? You're telling me that's not good? I think my favorite part about this is Sean Payton, once a Saint, always a Saint. Because if you know the New Orleans Saints and Atlanta Falcons, it's great. Great stuff right there.
Yep. He does not like the Falcons. Tua Tagovailoa, Michael Penix Jr., Cooper Rush, and Jack Strand walk into a bar. They're probably all throwing interceptions. It's probably not going well.
They probably physically walked into a bar.
all four have walked into the bar, and they are now in concussion protocol. They are now in the blue tent. Tua is very familiar with the blue tent territory that we spent so long yesterday talking about for Jackson Dart. Tua is also confused why he has to go in the blue tent so often. And a 3-for-5 performance. The Falcons still hope to get Michael Penix Jr. back, who's recovering from last season's ACL surgery. When Penix is cleared in full, there'll be a tried and true quarterback battle between Tua and Michael Penix Jr. In the meantime, the Falcons still stink. It's Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Roy Lee runs the board. Addie Bates produces. Those are your biggest losers of the day, sponsored by Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving all branches of the armed services, veterans, and their families. Learn more at NavyFederal.org. Our members are the mission. The Falcons are sad. I can name one NFL franchise who's even sadder. Up next, this is the Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One's.
It's the Jets. I couldn't keep a secret anymore. It's the Jets. That are worse than the Falcons. You know, because I said I have a franchise that's worse than the Falcons. That franchise was the Jets. I just didn't want it. I didn't. And what can the Jets do to fix it, right? What can the Jets, if I'm thinking about, all right, okay, you're the New York Jets, and you had Quinnen Williams in the fold, right? And then Aaron Rodgers comes in. I'm thinking like 2 years ago, the New York Jets, and wow, here comes Rodgers running through the tunnel, American flag, you know? That you know Rodgers would not have signed with the Jets, Robert Saleh as the head coach, if the Jets didn't want to compete, if the Jets didn't want to win, if the Jets didn't have the infrastructure to actually finally be good in a division where the Dolphins were just okay, where the Bills were a couple of years away from firing their own head coach, in a division where the New England Patriots at the time were terrible. The Jets 2 seasons ago, do you remember, do you realize they were built to compete? And when Aaron Rodgers ran out there, it felt like, can I make a reference to a game that I think, you know, some games stand out in the National Football League that you remember. And you're like, yeah, I remember where I was when I watched that. When the Detroit Lions beat the Kansas City Chiefs in week 1 a couple of years ago, it was like this Dan Campbell coming out party for Detroit. Like, oh, damn, the Lions are good? Yeah. And that's what the Jets, that's what week 1, and we all turn the TV on to watch Aaron Rodgers run out. And he tears his Achilles on the second play. That was the Jets. So why today? Why am I picking on them today? 2 years removed from wanting to contend, as they try to reconfigure how they want to contend, as they try to reconfigure how they will contend in the 2020s, the late 2020s. It's time for our obituaries. Dead today, Breece Hall's groin. Breece Hall got the franchise tag in the offseason, then got a 3-year, $43.5 million contract in May. At the time, that made him the 4th highest paid running back. He is now 8th. You know, it's like the Jets take a step in the right direction of locking down a star, Breece Hall, for a few years. It's funny in general of not locking down a star and having the future piece that in 2029 they look at and they say, oh, look, we still have Breece Hall, right, guys? Come on. He's good. And now that guy, 25 years old, who had a career high last year, 1,065 yards, that guy is out. Suffered a strained groin. And the hope is that it won't be a big deal for the Jets. But injury news kept coming down the pipeline, the running back position across the NFL, and it started with the New York Jets, who, it's like the guy they paid, the guy they're invested in, their future they have, that dude's got a strained groin. God dang it. That dude might miss time. Oh, man. And by the way, that dude, when you signed him to the 3-year, $43.5 million contract in May, making him the 4th highest paid running back, but yeah, that guy's now 8th. So he was happy in May, and now he sees everybody else signing these running back deals, and now he's unhappy. Just a disaster for the Jets, who I guess got Breece Hall on the cheap comparatively, but you think Breece Hall is going to be very happy about that? It's not the only running back who's dead today. Dead today, the rest of the preseason for Jeremiah Love. Come on. I opened the show on Friday and was so complimentary of the Arizona Cardinals running back Jeremiah Love, who was wily. That's the word I think I used Friday. It was wily in his preseason debut. And now Jeremiah Love will sit the rest of the preseason with a high ankle sprain and is unlikely to play the rest of the preseason and up in the air for week 1. Let's go to Matt LaFleur. Nope. Why would we do that? He's the Packers coach. Mike LaFleur. It's all in the family. The head coach of the Cardinals, on why Love even played so much as to have garnered a high ankle sprain in preseason game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rookie that hadn't played, knowing that, not to share too many secrets because I haven't said it with the players yet, but knowing that it was about what it was going to be in terms of how many games these guys were going to play for what we were looking for. So, that's what the thought was.
Yeah, well, having him play that much, Mike, led to a high ankle sprain. And I've told you, there is guy tears ACL, guy tears a rotator cuff, guy broke his leg. Surely he'll be doing what Cam Scadaboo is doing. I will not hurt myself. And backflipping in 6 months. The high ankle sprain, that's one of those running back injuries you point to and say, oh, it could plague Jeremiah Love the rest of the season, a high ankle sprain. And takes
not hurt myself.
Substantial amount of time to come back from. Love out for the preseason. And we'll see if he returns for week 1 and how he returns for week 1 for the Arizona Cardinals. Their top 5 draft pick. We're our obituaries today on the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Tyrone Lacey, dead today? Remember the play last week where Jackson Dart dropped back to pass, and here comes the Minnesota Vikings defender, 23 miles an hour, right through Dart's chest, plants him in the ground. Dart hits his head, has to go to the medical tent. It's like, guys, don't make me go to the medical tent. I'm confused why you think I have a concussion. You're like, oh, whoa, Jackson, don't say you're confused. That's a sign of a concussion. Well, the running back who missed his chip block, who was supposed to protect Jackson Dart, Tyrone Tracy, I mean, might as well be Lacey at this point, has been cut by the New York Giants. The New York Giants! Addy, it was all his fault. And the Giants told him so.
He took responsibility. At least he took responsibility, okay? He said, hey, guys, I'm not good at pass protection, but please keep me. Please, 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 please.
Don't cut me. Please don't cut me. I need
please,
this.
Please, please, please.
Please, my mom. She really wants me to be here.
Mama.
I wonder if, surely it happens, where guys who get cut in the NFL, their parents send letters or messages or tweets to the franchise.
Like a cease and desist?
I've been around pro athletes whose parents have done that.
Oh, God.
I've been around high-level athletes whose parents are involved in, like, direct messaging GMs or texting front office staff, setting up meetings about how perturbed they are that their child, their grown adult child, is being, quote, mistreated. Finally, dead today. The Giants needing Tyrone Tracy. In the wake of cutting him, Roto World Football tweets, Najee Harris is visiting with the Giants on Monday. That would have been yesterday. And Ian Rappaport confirmed that is the case. Maybe a veteran piece is what the Giants need to throw back there with Cam Scadaboo and give the New York Giants, an opportunity to win this year in a division with the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Commanders that, honestly, man, I mean, it's open enough. If Jackson Dart plays to the level he's supposed to, if Cam Scadaboo is healthy, the Giants, who lost 13-10 in their preseason game against the Minnesota Vikings, have an open door and an opportunity to win in 2026. Those are your obituaries. It's the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Roy Lee runs the board. Addy Bates produces. 310-840-4910. You can call or text 310-840-4910. It's time for the Quickie. Top 5 headlines in all of sports. Addy Bates reads them. Drake Toll has a minute to respond to each.
Before we get to that, I will say Tyrone Tracy hasn't been cut yet. But this is what he said, by the way. He said, I heard something that made me have my eyes on the wrong side.
Oh, okay.
It slipped.
Wow, congratulations. Tyrone Lacey's uncut. Pause.
Stop.
Don't put that in the headline, please.
All right, here's your first headline. Saints rookie wide receiver Jordan Tyson, who has been a standout during training camp, is expected to be out roughly 2 months with a hamstring injury.
Oh, Jordan Tyson, Arizona State kid, bang up wide receiver. And I thought could have been one of the more underrated rookies going into 2026. I watched them a lot in college. I mean, I say underrated. I think there are draft years where a guy like Jordan Tyson ends up being a top 5 pick. He's got top 5 athleticism, top 5 talent. And now the 22-year-old missing the first 2 months of the season, he had an opportunity to be a reliable target for Tyler Shuck in the New Orleans Saints offense. And your first 2 months out for New Orleans takes their first round, top 10 draft pick and throws him to the wayside, at least for a bit. So let's do this with the rest of my minute. The Saints' first 2 months of the season, they get Detroit at Detroit. That's a loss. Baltimore at Baltimore. That's a loss. Vegas at home is a win. Atlanta at home is a win. Minnesota at home is a coin flip. And then on the road against the New York Giants. Your first 2 games, Detroit and Baltimore, are pretty much guaranteed losses. After that, Las Vegas, Atlanta, Minnesota, the Giants, the Steelers, the Browns, the Panthers. Those 7 games are all very winnable for New Orleans. They'll be without their first round pick for likely all 7 of them. Brutal. That's a minute.
Here's your next headline. Jeannie Buss would no longer serve as the Lakers governor if her family sells its 17.8% ownership stake to Josh Kushner and Bob Iger.
Yeah, I've been following. I've got the quad box up, right? I follow other national radio shows, national TV shows to talk sports. Everybody else has taken a substantial amount of time to hit on this NBA story today. I mean, it's football season for yours truly, but that's okay. Yeah, it seems like more of a fight between Jeannie Buss, and the Buss family has owned the Lakers since 1979 up until a year ago, and they sold the majority stake, and that stake has now been sold again. The Buss family, it seems like, really wants out, but Jeannie is pushing back against her own family. This is more Jeannie against the rest of the Busses, whose wheels go round and round, than it is the Lakers having anything to do with the situation. Here's what you need to know. If you are Luka Doncic, this does not affect you in any way. You can disagree with that. You can push back, but genuinely, if you're talking the players themselves, how this affects the court itself, it's a non-story to me. I don't. Good luck figuring out your money, Jeannie Buss, but it doesn't do much for me. It's a minute.
Let's go to the Diamond for headline number 3. Pete Crow Armstrong of the Chicago Cubs is the first player since 2010 to hit a leadoff homer and a walk-off blast in the same game.
Yep. Start it and end it. Pete Crow Armstrong, NL MVP? Question mark? That is, he's got a case for it. He is currently top 25 in Major League Baseball, batting .281. He's 7th with 30 home runs. He's 12th with 78 ribbies. And he's 6th with an OPS of 929. Pete Crow Armstrong's had an incredible 2000 and wait. Pete Crow Armstrong, the Met or the Cubs?
The Chicago Cubs.
Oh, tough subject. Yeah, Pete Crow Armstrong, the member of the Chicago Cubs. And another statement moment last night against the crosstown team, the crosstown rival, the Chicago White Sox. PCA, stud.
Here's your next headline, and this is a real headline. Ohtani jolts Dodgers with 2 home runs, and then it says, comma, says knee good.
Was it his translator that said that, or Shohei himself?
Ipe in prison?
Can we? Who do we? I just to corroborate your headline. Dodgers offense breaks out behind Shohei Ohtani's 2 home run game. Ohtani jolts Dodgers with 2 home runs. Says knee good.
Mm-hmm.
Me as I get older, wake up in the morning, hear a pop. What? Knee good. What was that? Knee good. Nobody moved. The Dodgers have not had the August that they wanted to. Still first in the NL West. We do this every few days, do a Dodgers and NL West standings update, because mostly for San Diego Padres fans. Odds are still 8 games back. Dodgers have figured it out a little bit more as of the last week and a half. But the Padres have too. 7-3 in their last 10. And now, by the way, Padres 55.7% chance to make the postseason. That's pretty good. That's pretty awesome. They're in position for a wild card. The San Diego Padres, that is. And the LA Dodgers still very much in position to win the division because Shohei Ohtani, knee good.
Here's your final headline. More than a dozen Penn State students are accused of packaging powdered sugar at a frat house and selling the powdered sugar to students as part of a multi-state operation.
Gonna shoot you straight. Put every single one of those kids in the NFL. That's like maybe a 2-game suspension. This fraternity who's throwing snow, who's going skiing in August, this fraternity who's going Colombian Bam Bam on them, dropping it in Bimini from a plane and making you go pick it up with some buoys. They would be great in the National Football League. The NFL would see this and be like, yeah, funny. Oh, they're dealing drugs. Whoa. 2-game suspension. Come on. You're good.
We are. Drug dealers.
That's awesome. Is there a sports tie in this, or you just wanted to let me know this news today?
I had to let you know this news today.
All right. There's nothing else much to do in Happy Valley, I guess. So they're on that. They're on the old white line. Yeah. Again, the NFL allows guys to stalk their girlfriends and then evade police in a high-speed chase, and then be like, all right, fine, 8-game suspension. What? I go to prison. That guy gets an 8-game suspension from his very high-paying, multi-million-dollar job. Oh, what a world we live in. Is that it?
Those are your headlines for the day.
There it is. That should be your admissions poster for Penn State. They should take that headline and send it out in the mail to every prospective student in the country. Sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting small businesses with affordable coverage options. Quote today at progressivecommercial.com. I told you earlier in this show that there are 2 teams, USC and BYU, who are the most disrespected AP poll teams in America in college football. But I lied. One school is irate at yesterday's rankings. That's coming up next. It's Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show. doing this. Stop doing this. No. Here's how bad this is. Here's how the show has been hijacked at this point. Laura Jimenez leaves for one day. Roy Lee comes in, runs the board, doing a hell of a job over there. And then Addie tells him, like, Roy's just following orders. Addie's like, I'm the producer. And so no rejoin song. Addie plays the Texas Longhorns fight song to go into the next segment because she knows we're talking Texas Tech football. I told you before the break, I said, look, there's one team in this sport that I feel like was slighted maybe more than anybody else going in this AP poll, and it's the Texas Tech Red Raiders. I will spare you no more. He is Chris Level joining us, Red Raiders insider, and was Locked On Texas Tech. Level, I see the AP poll yesterday, and you got a Tech team that's got, in my opinion, a top 10 roster in college football, has reinvested and spent. Last season went to the college football playoff, and then when the AP poll is released, whether it's Big 12 bias, Texas Tech bias, or you just the poll feels as though the Red Raiders won't be in the playoff, they're 12th in the country. Take me to Lubbock. Do Texas Tech fans feel like this is fair?
Well, I was curious how this one would shake out. Just because I tell you why is because I was wondering what there was a lot of media that were very loud and outspoken and
right.
everything this summer about what had gone on, and I was just curious if anybody would show their hand and vote a certain way. I mean, you got one West Coast fella that put Texas Tech at 23rd, I think, and they were, I don't know, they were the third or fourth Big 12 team in the poll, and I just wish that some folks had to. We do get to see how people vote, but I would love to see people explain, have an explanation as to why, like justify that. Tell me why you feel this way. And if you want to keep Texas Tech out of the top 10 because you think Will Hammond is not healthy or he's not going to be it, and because the Brendan Sorsby thing, that's fine. But if it's anti-Big 12 or anti-Big Brand, or I don't know, I just I probably thought that Texas Tech would be around 8 or 9. Thankfully, this is a talking point for us. It doesn't ultimately matter other than the game of perception, but yesterday was interesting for sure. I'll say that.
I love that and this is one of the first things that I brought up today as it pertains to the AP poll, the voters of this, not to go too haywire here, but the Champaign News Gazette or the Northeastern Mississippi Star or the Pittsburgh Post Gazette, you're telling me the guy from the Northeast Mississippi Star can tell me the difference in USC and Texas Tech or Houston and Notre Dame in 2026. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's accurate. The way that we gauge college football should be through the AP poll. This is a dated metric to me. You kind of alluded to that, these West Coast folks that are throwing Texas Tech at 23rd, despite them having one of the best rosters in college football, coming off a 12-2 campaign. Are we looking at an AP poll system or a system that dictates college football that is truly outdated and not indicative of the top 25 teams in this sport?
My question about the poll too, and then you could, with the coaches poll, with the AP poll, is it, are you betting, are you voting with, this is how I think they are now, this is how I think they will finish?
Yeah.
I think there's a reason that the CFP committee waits for 8 weeks to put a ranking together, because we think we know, but it happens every year. You just don't have you have somebody overrated, underrated, whatever. And I don't know if it's easier or harder to do now with the way the portal classes are put together. But yeah, it's tricky that this is and it's been just the system that's been in place, but I just don't know if it's accurate, and perception is reality. I mean, you and I both know of teams in the state of Texas that sometimes end up in the top 25 no matter what, whether they deserve it or not. It's just kind of the way of life. One in College Station in particular, I guess is what I would say. So, I wish there was a better way to do it. But what I'm hinting at is that you've got these voters that are being very outspoken about certain programs, and then they have a vote in this thing. It's hard for me to take that seriously, I guess is my point. When you're anti this, or you're a fan of this league that, you know, whatever, and you're outspoken about that, and then you're voting in this supposedly with an unbiased thought process, I can't take that seriously. I don't see it as valid. So
To back up your point there and give you a little fuel for that fire, you had mentioned that an analyst had Texas Tech at 23rd in the country. It's John Wilner of the San Jose Mercury News. So we can deduce he works out west. He has Arizona ranked above Texas Tech. He has New Mexico, the Lobos, ranked above Texas Tech. There is regional bias to this. Cokie Riley with the Advocate in Baton Rouge has LSU, who lost to Houston in the Texas Bowl last year, at 6th in the country. There is going to be regional bias or bias toward the team that you cover with your newspaper when you vote in the AP poll. And we're talking with Chris Level, who is, you can hear him every Texas Tech football games, the radio analyst down on the sidelines with the team at a Red Raider Sports, locked on Texas Tech. And Level, you talked about the Brennan Sorsby situation. Now, Will Hammond is the quarterback at Texas Tech, as Sorsby was found to be gambling on games, his own games, when he was a redshirt freshman and a freshman at Indiana. And it derails Texas Tech's plans at quarterback for 2026. They pivot to Will Hammond, who would have already been the starter for Joey McGuire, if not for an ACL injury last year. He's reportedly ahead of schedule and could start week 1 for Texas Tech in 2026. If Tech being at 12 is disrespect underrated, make the case for Dale in North Dakota or Sam in South Florida that Texas Tech is a top 10 team right now.
Well, hello to Dale in North Dakota. Yeah, I hope he's up and listening and doing well this morning. Yeah, I mean, I look at it from a because I think a lot of people have made a lot about what Texas Tech lost. It's not just the Sorsby thing, but like, man, their defense was this good. They had this many guys drafted. I mean, Ohio State. Now, granted, it's Ohio State, but how many guys did they have drafted off of their defense in the first round? And yet they're, you know, so you kind of pick and choose. I would say this: Texas Tech had 9 players drafted this past April. They will have more drafted next April than this past one. And so it's a extremely talented roster. Really, the only questions on their football team, because they solved it all with, I mean, they have Power 4 starters that are backups, okay, on this team, which is, this is uncharted territory around here. But the only question they have is, can Will Hammond stay healthy, and who the other safety is. Other than that, everything is set. They are healthy. It's a much deeper team than it was a year ago. You probably don't have the number 2 pick in the draft on your team like a David Bailey, but they're much deeper than they were a year ago. They're probably built to run the football better than anybody in the Big 12, which means that they have a quarterback that is probably the one quarterback in the Big 12 that doesn't need to be great for them to win the league. He can just be okay, and you're going to be just fine. That's just the way they built it through the trenches. But I mean, you can go look at any, Drake, the Shrine Bowl list, which is an NFL metric on the NFL input on, you know, current draft picks, future draft picks, draft eligible players, all that stuff. They rank the top 1,000 players in the country, and it's with NFL grades on them. And Texas Tech had more than anybody in the country with 26 players listed. You could take any 2 Big 12 teams combined, put them together, and it doesn't equal the 26 that Texas Tech had listed. And again, this is unbiased. This is NFL. NFL, they don't care where players come from. We just want to win football games to the next level and all that. So that's just one way to look at it. But there's serious talent there. It's just, can you keep the quarterback healthy, and you get a little lucky along the way.
He is joining us from Lubbock, Texas. Chris Level with Locked On Texas Tech and with the Red Raiders themselves every Saturday. Level, last thing I got for you, looking at the Big 12, people will clown the Tech schedule. Oh, there's only one top 25 team. And by the end of the year, I've got teams like Arizona State, Arizona, Oklahoma State with Drew Mestemaker at quarterback, who led college football last year at North Texas, even Baylor or TCU that could be much improved and turn out to be tough matchups for the Red Raiders. But I don't think anybody's apologizing for what is perceived as an easy schedule. Are the Red Raiders going to walk to Arlington, Texas in the Big 12 title game this season pretty much the way they did last year?
Well, and you know how this goes. That's usually not the way it works. This league is, and that's what frustrates me about the schedule has been labeled because what people think they already know, and that's not like. So we're just not letting it play out anymore. I mean, sports is the best reality TV we get.
Yeah.
And so Arizona State was picked to finish last in this league 2 years ago and won it and almost won a playoff game. Right. So and nobody saw that coming. That's the beauty of the sport that we cover and we talk about. So, yes, what we think are supposed to be their tougher games are almost all at home. Yes, they have a trip to Stillwater. They have a trip to Waco. They have a trip to Boulder. But the Arizona schools, West Virginia, Houston, TCU, they all come to Lubbock. And so that's why – and then you scheduled Oregon State years ago when they were still in the Pac-12. And so it's a weird trip to Corvallis, but you don't have much on your non-conference. I think that you do have a favorable schedule. I'm not going to shy away from that, but is it going to be as easy as everybody thinks? Because things change. Teams are better than we think, or not as good as we think. And I think we need to let that play out. I mean, how good Willie Fritz and Houston are, and that's a top 25 matchup based on both of these polls. But the whole thing about the poll, and that's why Texas Tech is in uncharted territory. They have been ranked in the preseason in both polls last year and this year for the first time in their program's history. So that is you're trying, but it's harder to stay there. But to do that, you've got a schedule that again you're going to have to win 10, 11, or 12, like no questions asked, and even 10-2 may not be good enough to get you to Arlington.
He is Chris Level, a insider with the Texas Tech Red Raiders, the radio analyst with the football program, Red Raider Sports, and Locked On Texas Tech. Follow him at Chris Level on Twitter. Level, thanks for being up early with us, that perspective on the AP poll, and I'm sorry about the Texas fight song thing.
It's all good. It's all good. Horns down. Hey, you guys keep hope alive. Have a good rest of the week, and we'll talk next time.
That's great. Thanks again, Chris. He is the insider joining us from Lubbock, Texas, on one of the teams that was perturbed when the AP poll came out yesterday. And that was the case as Texas Tech had made the college football playoff last year. I predict that Texas Tech will finish undefeated, yet they are number 12 in the AP poll. And you might push back. You might be out there saying, well, it's just a poll and numbers and then playing games on field. The thing with the playing games on the field, let it play out on the field, let the teams decide it on the field, we don't really do that in college football. Because we lost the regionality, because conferences became so walkie-jawed that Stanford is playing Virginia Tech in a conference game. Now we've had to weight conferences. We've had to weight strength of schedule. We've had to say, hey, your 11 wins is not the same as that team's 9 wins. Just winning a game on the field doesn't guarantee you a spot in the college football playoff. What does is this court of public opinion, is the AP poll, the College Football Playoff Committee, this group of people that meet in a room, the door closes, and you're not sure how we get to the result that we get. And not to mention the number beside your name. If number 7 Texas Tech plays number 11 Houston, those numbers alone bring a sex appeal to college football that make you tune into that game. But if number 13 Texas Tech is playing number 24 Houston, you're probably less likely to dial in for that on a Saturday afternoon. We love numbers. We're a simple people. You tell me team good, I watch team. And Texas Tech feels slighted by an AP poll to put the Red Raiders at 12th after a controversial offseason where their star transfer quarterback, $5 million man, Brendan Sorsby, was cut from the team, left the program after it was discovered he had gambled on his own college football program when he was redshirting at Indiana in 2022. That fallout has obviously led some AP voters to drop the Red Raiders as they try out Will Hammond as their full-time starting quarterback in 2026. Again, thanks to Chris Level, at Chris Level, for joining the show. You know what? When we return, let's do it. I need to do it. The dumbest NBA player alive strikes again. That's up next. Westwood One Sports.
Cardinals offense.
Stumble, you might fall. Stumble, you might fall. Stumble, you might fall. I ain't gonna go blind. See through you. See through you. See through you. See through you. I'm gonna get myself connected. I ain't gonna go blind for the light that is reflected. Hear me out. Can you hear me out? Can you hear me out? Someone try, open up your eyes. You must be blind if you can't see the gaping hole called reality. Wanna do it again? I'm gonna do it again. Wanna do it again? Come on, I'm gonna do it again. Hear me out. Terrified, sun it ain't right. Make sure you're connected. The writing's on the wall. But if your mind's neglected, stumble you might fall. Stumble you might fall. Stumble you might fall. If you make sure you're connected, the writing's on the wall. But if your mind's neglected, stumble you might fall. Stumble you might fall.
I told you on the other side that I had maybe the dumbest boy alive that I was trying to figure out from an NBA standpoint as NBA headlines have turned to Jeannie Buss and the Lakers and how she wants to keep a hold of the Buss stake in the Lakers, but the rest of the family wants to sell, and how Jeannie's in the middle of the controversy, or how Kawhi Leonard and Steve Ballmer with the LA Clippers. It was kind of proven that Ballmer was not involved in trying to circumvent the cap and pay Leonard under the table. But then the NBA was like, nope. ESPN's wrong. We still have not investigated this to the full. But I think maybe the name you need to know out of the NBA right now that's looking real silly is Mark Walter, the guy who owned the Lakers for 9 months, who officially bought them in October last year and is already selling the Lakers. That same Mark Walter owns the LA Dodgers. But for how much longer? It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12. And Forbes, 13 minutes ago, says Dodgers ticketing arm linked to Mark Walter's $17 billion shuffle amid probe. God, there's a lot of big words there. What it means is the United States government is looking into Mark Walter as we speak. And $17 billion that may have been misappropriated. And misappropriated is another big word that can we boil it all down to alleged fraud. That's the Dodgers owner who just hastily sold the LA Lakers, and could it mean the Dodgers are the next on the chopping block? Well, it is our first honorary Idiot of the Day.
Idiot of the Day.
Hey, let's take you out to the phone lines for it. George in LA on the Dodgers ownership situation. George, you're on the Drake Toll Show.
Good morning, Drake. I don't know if all of you don't realize this, but Kroenke was one of the last people to try to buy the Dodgers. He got cut off by the Guggenheim Group, by Mark Walter. And I predict Kroenke, if it happens, he probably will take over the Dodgers. He's a good owner of the Rams. He's very powerful. His wife's there at Walmart, and he makes no trouble at all. And he's a good guy, and he's very decent.
Appreciate the phone call. Appreciate the thoughts. 310-840-4910. George in L.A. And the idea, Stan Kroenke could buy the Dodgers. He is the same owner of the L.A. Rams, and Kroenke he was one of the three bidding groups to purchase the Dodgers in 2012 when they were sold to Mark Walter. Walter, again, owned the Lakers up until a week ago and still owns the Dodgers, but the government's looking into $17 billion under Walter's nose that they can't seem to find. Addy Bates, MLB Network's own and producer of the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Will the Dodgers have to find a new owner?
The short-term answer is probably no, because you can have legal issues and still own a team.
Because you can do fraud.
Yes, you can commit fraud. That is a thing. But here's the problem with Kroenke is that the NFL cross ownership, he would have to address it, because in the NFL, there's rules put in place that restrict owners from holding major sports teams in other primary NFL markets. So that's what, you know what I mean? There was a lot of hurdles that he would have to overcome. So that's probably one of the reasons why he didn't win the bid. He was one of the finalists, yes, and he lost to Magic Johnson, basically, in the Guggenheim baseball management. So it's messy.
Yeah, there's an article from NFL.com, March 27th of 2012, 4:35 p.m. Eastern time, by the way. Says Los Angeles Lakers owner Frank McCourt agreed to sell the team, the bankrupt team, to Magic Johnson and Stan Kasten, Mark Walter in there as well, Guggenheim in there, and that the St. Louis Rams owner, at the time St. Louis Rams, Stan Kroenke, was one of three final bidders approved by Major League Baseball. So even then, he was fighting this battle with the NFL and alongside Major League Baseball to try to acquire the Dodgers. I don't think that Walter would sell on his own volition. He might have to with $17 billion. I mean, this is Forbes. I'm reading from Forbes that Mark Walter and the Dodgers are linked to this $17 billion that is shuffling around, and the government can't really find out where it is or why it is. That's not good. It is the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, and the Westwood One Sports app. We're in our Idiots of the Day. You can call in just like George in LA, 310-840-4910. Idiot of the Day, Dan Orlovsky of ESPN. Dan had this to say yesterday about his children.
I'm not going to lie. When we had our triplet sons, and then my wife notified me that she was pregnant, I was devastated. I was bummed. Okay. I was so tired. I adore my daughter.
Wow. His Dan Orlovsky's on national television and very clear with the world that, I mean, you get to be an idiot of the day if you tell an ESPN audience, when I found out I was going to have my daughter, I was devastated. I was so bummed that my wife was pregnant. Dan, the person who notably did not have to be pregnant during the pregnancy, I can report, my sources are telling me.
Wasn't he part of that?
Very mad, very upset that his wife was going through 9 months of labor again, that he had to have a child.
Wasn't he part of that? Doesn't it take two to tango? I may not be a biology major, but last time I checked, he was there when that happened.
You did bowl in college, though.
So, yes, exactly. That's the same thing.
So you've got somewhat of a grasp on the human anatomy here. And yes, that is correct. You're spot on. Where Dan Orlovsky was probably involved in the 9-month process at the very beginning of said process. And then after that, just devastated. We'll keep it in our idiots of the day with Major League Baseball. Let's take you back to it. Some of the biggest names traded at the deadline include Tarek Skubal, Adley Rutschman, Jose Soriano, Casey Mize, Kevin Gausman. And here's some of their stats. Tarek Skubal traded to the Dodgers. 3 starts, 0-2 record. Had in 17 innings pitched, 19 strikeouts, a 3.18 ERA. Pretty good, but can't seem to win. Adley Rutschman, 1 for 17. The Orioles catcher, who's now a Boston Red Sox. 332 OPS. Casey Mize, 3 starts for the San Diego Padres, 1-1 record, 15 and a third innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, a 5.87 ERA. Kevin Gausman, 2 starts, 1-1 record, at 11 2/3 innings. He has a 6.17 ERA. Addy, some of these big trades not panning out.
All I know is that from these numbers and Jose Soriano and everything, the Jays.
Luis Arias, too. I didn't give Luis Arias one, did I?
No.
Also
But
bad.
the Blue Jays won the deadline. That's what I'm seeing from this. Freddie Peralta, the Rays, has been a disaster. Casey Mize, disaster. Kevin Gausman, disaster, which, by the way, the Blue Jays traded away Gausman to the Cubs. So thank God for the Blue Jays, and they're currently on a huge surge. So maybe the deadline did something for them.
Did you hear that, Padres fans? Did you hear that? Are you mad at that? She said Casey Mize, disaster. 310-840-4910.
Call me out.
Get her. Come on. 310-840-4910. Disaster. Idiot of the day. Cam Scattaboo. Underdog NFL. Cam Scattaboo on if he thinks about the ankle injury he suffered last year, the broken leg, via SNY Giants. Quote, when I went out there on Sunday, I had no feeling or any recollection of injury in my brain. I was ready to go play football. Bring out the blue tent. I think Cam Scattaboo should have a blue CTE concussion tent just in his living room. And at any point, every time he wakes up, just the same way that Stephon Diggs had that live-in chef that he may or may not have strangled, the same way Stephon Diggs had the live-in chef, I think that Cam Scattaboo should have a live-in physician, a live-in CTE monitor, where every morning he has to, in the same way that I have to blow into the little machine when I get in my vehicle, you should have Cam Scattaboo have to be evaluated. Just follow the finger, follow the light, check the dilation every morning in his living room for CTE.
I do that. That's what I do before I get on the show, and I feel like it's working out pretty well. Maybe Tua, Jackson, they could get in the blue tent. That's what they do there. Also, I want to circle back because we did get a text from @Andy2235 who said Casey Mize is not a disaster. 2 quality starts out of 3. Let me say this. I'm going to say this. You ready? Hold on.
Don't do it. Don't do it to them. They're the good people of San Diego. Don't do it to the good people of San Diego.
I'm going to say this. His recent win, quality start, was against the Cleveland Guardians, who statistically have the worst skid post All-Star break in the AL Central. So, guys, it's like beating the Rockies.
Padres fans, hear that? The worst skid post All-Star break in the AL Central. Come on, that's an ESPN stat. That's an ESPN stat.
No, that's an Addy Bates stat. That's an Addy Bates stat.
You don't think we're cherry picking a little bit statistically?
No, I want to see him play well against good teams. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna call he did okay. He got a win against Milwaukee. That's great, but against the Diamondbacks, who I'm not super high on, they don't even know where Ketel Marte is right now. They don't know where one of their players actually is. Their star player who they're paying.
He is missing. That's a fact. Idiot of the day, Ketel Marte. They're in Boston, and the Diamondbacks, he just didn't show up for the game. So the Diamondbacks are like, okay, what do we do now? Can somebody call Ketel? His phone's off. All right, great. He is not with the team right now. No one. He's Bobby Fischer. Bobby Fischer's missing. Ketel Marte is missing right now. Addy Bates produces. Roy Lee runs the board. It is Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Those are your idiots of the day. Hold on. Are the Chicago Bears about to become the Hammond, Indiana Bears and change their name altogether? Well, that's up next. This is the Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood.
The name to know. The ownership group, the chairman, the guy. George McCaskey. An umpire in his spare time. But then, the czar of the Chicago Bears the rest of the time. Has said, and I quote from NBCSports.com, we are moving forward in Hammond. That in reference to the Chicago Bears moving away from Soldier Field and away from Illinois, away from Chicago, into Hammond, Indiana. But what if there is what if there is a last-ditch effort? What if there is a superhero out there that can save the Chicago Bears, keep the Chicago Bears in Chicago? Let's go to an expert from Chicago, Adam Abdallah, joining us from Bleck and Abdallah, Westwood One Sports, every day, 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Abdallah, thanks for being up early with us and joining the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports as well. And is there a last line of defense that keeps the Chicago Bears in Chicago, or is that unnecessary? Is Hammond the right move and the right place to go?
Well, good morning, Drake. Appreciate you having me. Well, it would be a last-ditch effort to keep the Bears in Arlington Heights. It'd be like saying, when you meet people from out of town, and it's like where you're from, and you say, well, I'm from Chicago. It's like, well, you're really from like a suburb that's like an hour outside of Chicago. Mm-hmm. But you say you're from Chicago. You're not really from Chicago. There's no room left in Chicago to keep the Bears. It's like that episode of Seinfeld when they're trying to move to, I think it's like Italy. Like there's no room in Italy for you.
Yeah.
Like there's no room. Sorry, there's no room for you anymore. So there's no room in Chicago for a new stadium unless they tear down Soldier Field and rebuild it, which they're not going to do. So they own the land in Arlington Heights, which they bought before Kevin Warren, who built the Viking Stadium and then left and then took over the Big Ten, was commissioner of the Big Ten for a while. Yep. And nobody liked him at the Big Ten, obviously. And so now he's, in charge of the Bears. And so when he took over the Bears, they own the land in Arlington Heights. And he's the one that started this last-ditch effort to keep the Bears in Chicago, even though there was no place, and he tried to find a place to keep the Bears in Chicago. And so then they started arguing and trying to create these tax liens in Arlington Heights so they could get these tax breaks in Arlington Heights. The problem is Illinois is not Minneapolis. It's not Minnesota. And so trying to get tax breaks and trying to lean on politicians is not the same in Minneapolis and Minnesota as it is in Chicago and it is Illinois. So if the Bears end up moving to Hammond, if the Bears end up moving to Indiana, which no Bears fan really wants them to do. I mean, and also this is probably a small handful of Bears fans that actually end up going to games because, when we talk about this, the Giants and the Jets don't play in New York. The Cowboys don't play in Dallas. The 49ers don't play in San Francisco. There's a lot of teams that don't actually play in the name of the city where their team is, but for the Chicago Bears to move to Indiana, it's a big deal. So, because those teams will also tell you, as soon as those teams move, it's not really the same anymore. Like the New York Giants and New York Jets, it's not really the same since they moved. So when they decided to do this, and when the Bears decided to do this, the politicians have said that the McCaskies and Kevin Warren have never done any of the lobbying that is needed for the legislation to get these tax breaks that they want that Hammond is giving them. Hammond has bent over backwards to give them everything they wanted. Anything they want. You want tax breaks, we'll give you tax breaks. You want this with the land, we'll give you this with the land. You want all this revenue from the thing, we'll give you this. You want to lease the stadium back, we'll lease the stadium back to you. Anything you want, we'll give it back to you because we're desperate for commerce in Hammond, Indiana. Whereas Illinois is like, you got to come and ask for it. You got to come and grease the wheels of politics. You got to come and actually try to do something. Whereas the McCaskies and Kevin Warren now are saying it's all Illinois' fault. And Illinois is saying, you guys haven't come and tried to work with us at all. So it's all this blame game, he said, she said. And in reality, the Bears and fans are also saying, because this is all, everybody's saying, oh, Illinois politics. the Bears have only to themselves to blame for this, because they're the ones that aren't actually trying to get things done, because they don't want to do the work and put in the effort to actually lean on the politicians and do the lobbying to get the legislation so they can get the tax breaks that they want.
So if I'm Caleb Williams, and we're talking to Adam Abdallah, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app from Bleck and Abdallah. If I'm a Bears player at this point, and this has dominated the offseason storylines for the Chicago Bears, I know where my house is. I know where my office is. I know where I'm working. I know where my stadium is. Does a storyline like this affect the players on the team? Is there an air about this where it could be a distraction in 2026?
No, none whatsoever. Because, I mean, this has been a story that has been going on for the better part of 4 years or so.
Yeah.
So we're at least another year, maybe, from shovels in the ground. And then how long does it take to build a stadium?
Right.
4 or 5 years. So, I mean, we're talking Caleb Williams is on another contract. Half these guys aren't going to be on the team anymore.
Yep.
I don't think this matters to these guys. All these guys care about is playing football and then getting on a bus and then where are they going to play their next game, So as far as like Hammond goes, it's actually closer to Chicago than Arlington Heights. So if these guys are living in the city and if some of them live in the city, most of them live in the suburbs, that's actually closer to the practice facility, because the practice facility where the Bears play and practice every day is actually 45 minutes to an hour north of the city of Chicago, where they actually play their games in a place called Lake Forest. So it's actually, Hammond would be so much farther than that. But Hammond is actually closer to the city of Chicago than Arlington Heights. So the city of Chicago themselves wants the stadium. If the city of Chicago had to pick, it would be Hammond, because they hope people actually come and stay in Chicago and then go to like Hammond for the game and then come back to Chicago and do their like eating and drinking and all that. And then just like, take a bus to Hammond and then come back. So that's what they hope the Bears will do. The Bears will stay in like Chicago, like at a hotel or whatever, and then bus to Hammond and come back, or stay at a hotel in Hammond and whatever. So the players this season, it won't affect them. It won't affect players for another, 5 or 6 years until the stadium is built. And I still don't believe that the stadium will actually be built in Hammond until I see a shovel in the ground in Hammond, because I still think the McCaskies don't actually want this to be in Hammond, because I still think that they want this to be in Illinois, and they don't want to be known as a team that's being made fun of for having moved out of state, because they still want to be known as the Chicago Bears, and they don't like the optics of being called, even jokingly, the Indiana Bears.
Yeah. I love the perspective that if you are a current member of this team, the full focus, it's the beauty of the offseason storylines, that the fans get to focus on it, that we as media get to focus on it, that it's all the who's the owner, what's the owner do, what's that, but the players themselves get the whole football thing to take care of. And for the Bears last year, I want to go back to that game against Detroit, early September, mid-September, 52-21 in Detroit. It's like, God bless America. Like the Bears just, again, it's going to be one of those years. And then everything flips. And Chicago is one of the best stories in the National Football League. I thought the San Francisco game, despite being a loss, 42-38 late in the year, proved that it was almost this, hey, Chicago's here. The Bears are here. Caleb Williams is here. And in a few of these losses down the stretch, the thing that I point to is defense for Chicago. And I'm going to liken it for a second to the Dallas Cowboys, where the Cowboys had maybe the best offense in the National Football League at times last year, but the defense was so putrid they couldn't win. For the Bears this year, I do believe it's a top 3 offense in the NFL and could be number 1. Is the defense, and maybe more importantly, let's use a name, Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator, is he coaching for his job?
I think he could be, but the problem is they're already, starting to get a lot of injuries that are starting to pile up. Like Kobe Bryant, their big offseason acquisition, could be out for the entire season. He's at best going to come back for the last couple weeks, maybe the playoffs, should they get there. So they didn't really help him out by adding to the pass rush. They added Marcus Davenport yesterday, but Marcus Davenport's played 14 games in the last 3 seasons combined. So I know he's got familiarity with Dennis Allen, but a guy like that is, not somebody that you can rely on. I thought that they would be in on Von Miller, but Von Miller would, is someone that sees, the Dallas Cowboys as a place that he has got a more likely chance to win a Super Bowl this year. Plus, he's from, the Dallas area. So it makes more sense that way. So this season, if you're relying on the defense to get things done for the Bears as to a way to improve, I just don't see it unless they're going to rely on turnovers again, like the way they did last year. And you know that turnovers, as someone that watches football, is complete luck. And I kept saying that last year, but they kept on proving me wrong last year. So maybe they can continue to do that, but they just don't have a way to get to the football other than Dennis Allen saying that he didn't do a very good job of coaching them up last year. So he's even saying it himself. So he kind of put himself on the hot seat by saying he needs to do a better job of coaching these guys up. They're getting a few guys back that were injured last season. And so you've got to get guys like Daya Dengbo that were underperforming last year that the Bears, spent draft pick capital on. So if he can get those guys coached up, like he said, putting himself on the hot seat, again, he's a great, defensive coordinator. He's got a lot of respect around the league. Ben Johnson has a lot of respect for him. I still think the Bears don't think that they're a complete team yet. The Bears are on a different timeline than I think fans think that they are. And I think the rest of the league also knows, and analysts know this too, right? Like we know, like you just said, this has a chance to be a top 3 offense in the NFL, but their defense could be Cowboy-like last season. Like they're going to have to outscore teams and put up 40 points this year and hope that they can keep their opponents to 35 points this year. And that's kind of where they are. And they'll probably spend all of their money and all of their draft capital on defense next season. And that's just where they are, and hope that they can get by this year on that and get to the playoffs this year on that. And next year is the year that they can, get through and get to the playoffs with a stud defense. And next year was where you'll see like everybody's super high on the Cowboys this year and picking the Cowboys maybe to go to the NFC Championship game. That's where you'll see the Bears probably next season by adding all this on defense and adding, because they've got a lot of cap space next year. They can add a lot more to the defense next year. They've got a lot of draft capital next year. You could add to the defense that way because their offense is set moving forward. Like you're going to see, they'll probably approach Caleb Williams if he takes the next step and work out a deal with him if that's there. And then, their offense is all the way set because it's really young. It's really talented this year. You're going to see guys like Luther Burden take a next step, Colston Loveland take the next step. They just gave Darnell Wright a huge deal. So their offense is set. Now this offseason, they'll turn to the defense. So he could be on the hot seat, but he put himself there for sure.
He is Adam Abdallah of Bleck and Abdallah, Westwood One Sports, and the Westwood One Sports app, noon to 3 Eastern time, weekdays. And Abdallah, one of my favorite parts about listening to your show, I'll get in the car, Sirius XM 375, and you have every excuse, you and Bleck both, to make it a Chicago show. But the balance of seeing the world through the lens of professional sports that aren't just Chicago or just the Chicago lens is what makes the show great to me. It's this bias put aside and objectivity to the biggest stories every day in college and NFL sports, or college and professional sports, including the NFL right now. And so what I want to do, this is a new one. We got a couple minutes left here. We're going to do a mini quickie. I'm going to give you 3 headlines, 3 words, 3 names, and you have a minute to respond to each. Are you ready?
Okay, yeah, sure. Ready for a minute quickie. Easy.
Roy, here we go. It's time for the quickie with Adam Abdallah joining the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, and the Westwood One Sports app. Storyline number 1, Jaden Daniels, and the minute begins now.
I mean, who do you think you are? Like, you think you're bigger than LSU? The biggest atmosphere, the best atmosphere than the swamp at night? Like, are you crazy? Are like, Joe Burrow's number isn't even retired. They were just like, yeah, we probably won't give it to anybody. Like, there are bigger players around college football and other programs that don't have their number retired that they're giving out multiple numbers to because guys play offense and guys play defense that have won Heisman's and national championships. Who do you think you are? Like, come on. What is that?
All right. Storyline headline number 2, Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald, I don't think is going to come back until after they come back from Australia. I think he might sign, but I think he might be like, my hamstring, or I'm not ready. I don't think he wants to put up with training camp, and I don't think he wants to make the trip to Australia because no player and no team actually wants to go to Australia, especially because he hasn't played in a few years. Like, there's no way this dude actually wants to make that world round trip to Australia and then be winded for the next month after making that trip.
That's a minute. Last headline here. Electrical substation.
Oh, I've been on this for over a year. I've been on this like crazy for over a year. Like, they wanted me to go to this when we were at the Super Bowl, and I refused because I value my ligaments and I enjoy playing golf. Like, there's no way that I was going to step foot near this substation. I think it's real. I like the Titans this year, and I was upset that Robert Saleh took his team and wanted to do joint practices there because he should know better. As a guy who was a part of that defensive staff last year, like, I'm surprised that none of the Titans got injured, or maybe they will suffer some injuries and some long-term effects, but I think it's absolutely real.
I love it. Adam Abdallah from Black and Abdallah, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Abdallah, thanks for joining the show this morning. How can folks listen to you?
You can hear us on Sirius XM channel 375, the Westwood One Sports app, and affiliates around this beautiful country on your radio station on Westwood One Sports, noon to 3 with Chris Fleck.
Thanks for being up early again with this, Abdallah, and I'm looking forward to listening today.
Anytime, Drake. Appreciate it.
Incredible stuff, man. This guy is, I love the Aaron Donald take, not until after Australia is perfect. The electrical substation is real, and Jaden Daniels, man, you are not bigger than LSU. Who does this guy think he is? Listen. The news and the updates and the headlines out of Chicago, whether it's moving the team or the Bears being good this year or trying to bolster a defense that might be Cowboy-like. What a tear. If anybody tells me that my team's defense is going to be, quote, Cowboy-like going into 2026, that is very scary. I know we had to get all that, but if we could have just done 15 minutes, 15 headlines with Adam Abdallah there, I think would have made my day. That was perfect. And now you can get involved in the show. 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. Call and join the program just like Adam Abdallah of Westwood One Sports. Oh, no. Did you see this? The AP poll just came out, and the most underrated team from America resides in Los Angeles. That's up next. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Make up your mind. Decide to walk with me around the lake tonight. Around the lake tonight. By my side.
the USC Trojans might be the most underrated college football team headed into 2026. And I'm excited to tell you about that. I'm going to. But something happened here. There's a shift in the ether. The tectonic plates moved. We got a phone call 26 minutes ago from Ben in San Diego. And I felt bad because I was like, oh, well, we probably can't get to Ben for like 20 plus minutes. Hopefully he holds on. Not only does he hold on, but he's here with a hopeful vengeance. Addie, I'd like you to take the reins here. Can you repeat what you said earlier about the San Diego Padres? And then please welcome my friend Ben to the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports.
Yeah, in comparison to some of the other pitchers that were traded at the deadline, Casey Mize has been a disaster.
A disaster.
And Ben, welcome into the show.
Good morning, Ben.
Addie, you got to do a little research before you say that.
Yes.
Yes, Ben, do it.
Yes.
I know you know baseball, and you know stats don't always paint the whole picture. Look, he was left out there to die in his first start. After 11 days of not pitching, being traded, and starting for a new team the next day. Okay? I'm pretty sure he went 5-6 innings, 2 hits, 1 or 2 earned runs against a sweep of the Brewers.
Yeah.
And then went 6 shutout innings with 1 hit against the Cleveland Guardians in a series win the other day.
Ooh. Ben, this is perfect.
Oh.
Ben, I needed this.
This is good.
So I get it. It's inflated. He did give up a lot of runs, but you cannot say it was a disaster. And I'm pretty sure the first start for every pitcher who was traded at that trade deadline, they all got shelved. Was one of the stats I saw.
Except Jose Soriano, who was the most valuable pitcher. I think that is the best trade acquisition. His first start, 4.2 innings pitch. Okay, didn't go 6. 1 earned run. His next start, 6 innings pitch.
All
1
right,
earned
you
run.
You two. All right. Wow.
So, Ben, I needed that.
agree.
Ben, I needed that. I'm just saying
I
for what they
agree.
gave up. I love Ben. I needed you to call, and this is what I needed today. And you waited 28 minutes. So thank you so much.
I just had to get it in. I had to get it in.
It's good, Ben.
That's all. Thank
Clip
you.
that.
Have a good
Clip
one.
that. Thanks, Ben, from San Diego on the Padres today. Addie, Ben's got a very good point here that in his first start for the Padres, Casey Mize just left out to dry, 3 1/3, 8 earned runs. Take the guy out. Come on.
Wasn't left out for that long. Three and how many innings?
Yeah,
It's
3
not that long.
1/3. Well,
Ugh.
after you've given up 8, or if you've given up
Yes.
5 earned runs in your first start in a new market after 3, if you've given up 5 earned runs, you just get to take the guy out, and they didn't. They left him out there. And then against Milwaukee and Cleveland, 12 combined innings, 8 hits, 2 earned runs. That's pretty good.
Pretty good, except it's the Guardians. I mean, it's like you got to beat the Rockies.
Are you going to ignore the Brewers? The best
I
team in
said
Major
I
League
acknowledge
Baseball?
that. I acknowledged that 2 segments ago. You
did.
I'm just
but
saying
I'm
against
asking
2 other teams, two out of 3. Like the 2 out of 3, like it's just you should win against the Guardians. And they gave up their top number 2 prospect for him. So
yeah, which they want to win this year. Again, we're talking about AJ Preller.
yeah,
It's like the average fan of a Major League Baseball team or an NFL team or an NBA team, they don't know the name of the top prospect, like the average baseball, especially. I guess it's probably a little bit different in football and basketball.
You're right.
But in baseball, like if you ask me right now, name 3 guys who are not former big leaguers that are in the AAA for the Rangers, I couldn't do it. 3 guys
Really?
couldn't do it. Yeah,
Okay.
couldn't do it. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, but you're baseball. Addie does baseball, so.
I'm glad that he called. Like I said, I think the first start flying across the country. Somebody else mentioned that in the chat. I don't know. Jose Soriano came from LA to Toronto Blue Jays, which is a different country.
In the start for Casey Mize, he gave up 2 runs in the 3rd. He'd gone the first 2 scoreless, 2 runs in the 3rd, kind of fell apart in the 4th, and they just left him out there. Started with Lars Nootbaar. God, I love Lars Nootbaar, by the way.
Which, you're the only person because the Arizona Diamondbacks do not like him. That fan base is very disappointed in what they got. Lars Nootbaar.
Fine, the Rangers will take Lars. The Rangers would take a lot. The Rangers would take anything. I thought that the month of the year that we only play the Angels and the A's, that's me using we, the Rangers would be good. And nope, that's not the case. Luckily, there's still only 2 games back of the Astros because no one in the West wants to win. Yeah. It's a shame the Mariners could still make the postseason for as bad as they've been, but they're 4 games back of the Astros as we hit the home stretch of Major League Baseball. Addy Bates produces. Roy Lee runs the board. It is the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, and the most underrated team in college football, I think, is the USC Trojans. Heisman contending quarterback in Jade Mayava. Check. Improved defense under Gary Patterson. Check. A schedule that opens the window of opportunity to go 10-2 and still make the college football playoff. Check. Listen to this. So here's a story for you. Within the last year, have become pretty close friends with Gary Patterson. We hosted a show together with Amazon for 6 months. And so as we got closer, we built this rapport and relationship where I could ask him like pretty tough football questions. I love, like, he's one of those guys you're like, hey, coach, you know, how do you, you just say good morning. Like, good morning, coach. How you doing today? And I'll be like, slot corner versus the RPO. Don't bite. Head up, eyes up. You're like, what? Like, he has football flashbacks. And coach at TCU, head coach at TCU for over 20 years, and led the Horned Frogs to multiple Big 12 championships. He's now a college football Hall of Fame coach, and he's the USC defensive coordinator. I remember we ended up getting lunch together one day. This was in December of last year, where I was asking, like, all right, coach, I know there are, you know, you've told me that there's an opportunity for you to be at USC. Is that real? It's like, oh yeah. I mean, I want it. I'd love to take it. And I think Lincoln, you know, if it all works out, like, this is a great move for me, for my family, for me to get back into coaching. And we're sitting at this steakhouse, eating lunch together, get the lunch special at the bar at this steakhouse in Fort Worth, Texas. And I leaned over and said, Coach, have you seen the USC schedule next year? And he said, no, what is it? Pulls his phone out, classic old guy move. And I mean, we're in front of God and everybody. It's like, hey, hopefully there are no reporters around, because he goes, hey, Siri, USC Trojans 2026 football schedule. And I'm sitting with the defensive coordinator of the USC Trojans, and we're going game by game. This is like 3 days into the hiring process where him and Lincoln have gone back and forth. And San Jose State, I mean, I'm calling out the wins. He's like, all right, San Jose State. All right, coach, win. Fresno State, win. Louisiana, win. Rutgers, win. I'm telling him what games he's going to win next year as the analyst, right? But then it happens. Then the run of death. USC plays number 2 Oregon, number 17 Washington at Penn State. Luckily, Oregon and Washington for the Trojans will be in LA. Get a bit of a break with a bye week in Wisconsin. Then you play number 1 Ohio State and at number 6 Indiana. Did you hear that? Oregon, Washington, Penn State, Ohio State, Indiana. 3 top 6 teams on your schedule if you're USC. Does that kind of suck? Yeah, it does. Because Lincoln needs to win now. Last year was disappointing for USC fans. They don't want to go 9-3. 9-3 is not good enough. They want to win at the highest level. They don't want to go 9-3 and then lose in a bowl game to TCU. They want to go to the college football playoff. The bad part is that you play a shoot ton of really good football teams this year out of the Big Ten. The good part is you can afford to lose to Oregon, to lose to Indiana, to go 10-2, and still make the college football playoff because your schedule is that strong if you're USC. The AP poll was released yesterday, and USC, who I have in the college football playoff based on their roster, based on the coaching addition, based on having a defense that's new and improved, based on having the number 1 recruiting class in the country, the AP poll has them at 15. No, I don't think so. I think USC is better than Alabama at 13. I think they're better than LSU at 11. Shoot, how did LSU sneak into the AP poll at 11? They're better than Oklahoma at 10. I think USC, Jaden Mayava, will be better than Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss, or A&M and Marcel Reed. I think USC has a case to be better than Georgia, who was ranked number 3. Name 5 Georgia players. And Georgia's good, no doubt. And I've spent more time around Kirby than I have Coach Patterson, in the last 6 months. And I think Georgia's in flux still after winning back-to-back national championships, trying to figure out, okay, so now what? We haven't seen that level of success and been bounced from the last few college football playoffs. Where's the reset button or the retool button? You know, one of the greats in college football is Mike Leach. And of this AP poll, and I've talked a lot of poll today, I've talked frustrations if you're a USC fan, frustrations if you're a BYU fan, frustrations if you're a Texas fan. They're ranked number 5. Texas at 5, underrated. BYU at 14, underrated. USC at 15, underrated. We talked earlier about Texas Tech at 12, underrated. Oklahoma at 10, overrated. LSU at 11, overrated. A&M at 8, overrated. Alabama 13, overrated. So how do we get this? How does the poll happen? Who votes in the AP poll? You ready for me to tell you? There are AP poll voters who have New Mexico ahead of Texas Tech. These people that vote for the Associated Press poll, these people who decide who gets to be the top of college football, they come from outlets like Nevada Sportsnet, Toledo Blade. These are newspapers. These are media outlets that these writers, these voters work for. A writer at, quote, this is a real thing, at, quote, the Journal Gazette. It's like you asked AI to make a newspaper. At the Journal Gazette is deciding who's the top 25 in college football. Let me take you to John Wilner from the San Jose Mercury News. Wilner ranks Houston above Texas Tech, New Mexico above Texas Tech. Wilner ranks Washington above Ole Miss. What? And he just can. That's how the AP poll, that's how it works. Is that these people who you haven't heard of, who don't have to watch college football, who just get a vote, that they can put whatever team they want, wherever they want, without any repercussion. If I asked these writers from the WildcatReport.com or Cedar Rapids Gazette, hey, tell me why, with examples, why you think that LSU is going to be better than BYU. You think they can answer that? No. Can I go back to Mike Leach? Earlier in the show, we gave you the thoughts of the Hall of Famer, the former Texas Tech football coach turned Washington State football coach turned Mississippi State football coach, who's known for his quips. When he talked about committees, AP poll, college football playoff, he was very clear. This is a list of unqualified people who are deciding what college football looks like. Mike Leach, take it away.
Let's have a committee, because why not? Because, we're American. We love committees. Well, who should be on the committee? Well, I don't know. This guy's a good guy. Let's have him on the committee. Well, I mean, there's people on the committee that don't even have remote associations with football, nor have they at any level other than being a fan. But you know what? Let's have them on a committee. Why not?
Why not? The late Mike Leach, irreplaceable, has a quote, a bite that stands the test of time. We're American. Let's have a committee. And we'll put the Northeast Mississippi Daily guy alongside the guy who works for the Lawton Constitution, with a cat who works for the Albuquerque Journal, and maybe we'll throw in Ty Hildebrandt of The Solid Verbal. Again, these are the people. What? The Northeast Mississippi Tribune is deciding who's ranked in college football? Correct. That's correct. Now, there are lists of AP voters like Reese Davis. Hey, Reese, I trust that you watch enough college football. Okay. Hey, free pass there, Reese. You got it, big guy. But to have him in tandem with the San Antonio Express News deciding who's ranked in college football, deciding who you watch in college football, like, oh, no, he's reading too much into the rankings. Let him play it out on the field. No, that's BS. That's not no. Because you look at it, even leagues like the ACC or the Big 12. If because Texas Tech and Houston's it's a Big 12 matchup, top 25 matchup. I think Tech is the 6th ranked team in my top 25. BYU is 8th. Houston is 14th. That's around where these schools finished last year, by the way, and they got better. So how did you drop them spots? I digress. you are more prone to watch a game between number 6 Texas Tech and number 13 Houston than you are number 13 Texas Tech and number 23 Houston. We are simple-minded football fans. We watch numbers. When 2 top 10 teams play, when 2 top 15 teams play, it becomes less about the logo and more about, rankings could move. And so you tune in. The deeper we drop your team, the less people view that team. The less people view that team, the less the court of public opinion can drive them toward the college football playoff. The less that we can use PR and attention to drive them toward the playoff. It's why BYU at 11-1 didn't make it in last year, because you just didn't really watch them. Because BYU was never in these top 10, top 15 games, because the Big 12 or the ACC might not get that shake. The back end, Indiana last year out of the Big 10 did not get that. It took them 9 weeks for us to finally be like, all right, fine. We'll believe in Indiana. And you know why? It's because cats from the Lawrence Journal world, surely it's a good newspaper, but this is an outdated, out-of-date system, the AP poll. And we use it to dictate college football. That is bad. It's Westwood One Sports. It's the Westwood One Sports app. He did it again. Jerry Jones just made something very clear to Dallas Cowboys fans that could change the face of the franchise in 2026. That's up next. This is the Drake Toll Show.
The Cowboys have added future Hall of Famer Von Miller to a
got a sweet little body and she's rolling in the caddy with me.
Jerry Jones did it again. He did it again. Hope. He gave the Dallas Cowboys hope. And I think at this point, my brain is so broken that I cannot bring up Jerry Jones without the fact that Jerry will die. I will die. Everyone dies at some point. And it's so interesting to me that we've gotten multiple calls on this show where the callers are like, hey, man, not to be weird, but Jerry's going to die someday. Like, what? Why is that where we start? Like, Jerry's going to die someday, and he wants to win before that day happens. And God willing, it'll be years before, he can live out his long and fruitful life. He's just a kid right now. Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys, GM, czar, emperor. And finally, everybody's 3 years ago, I lived in Waco for 5 years, and I'm a Cowboys fan, closeted. I know. I'm not one of the obnoxious ones. I'm a reluctant Cowboys fan. If you can be a fan of a franchise, everybody's born into a franchise. So sorry. But 3 years ago, I think that the common gripe would be Jerry Jones is not willing to spend. Jerry Jones is not willing to make the big move. Jerry Jones is scared after he overpaid Ezekiel Elliott, and it blew up in his face. After he listened to the fans, and it blew up in his face to keep Zeke in Dallas. But yesterday he did it. He pulled out the hope card again and said, the people of Dallas, hear ye. To what great fortune do you have that Jerry Jones could be your owner, that I, Jerry, want to win, that I, Jerry, am ready to make a move, that I, Jerry, would build a defense that now has Von Miller, who had 9 sacks last season for the Commanders, that I, Jerry Jones, will give Von Miller $5.5 million to come lead our locker room, to come lead a defense. I'll give Quinnen Williams money. And you know what? Maybe, just maybe, I'll go for what is, quote, a substantive. Let's listen to Jerry Jones on, would you make a, quote, substantive trade?
Yes. If we had an opportunity, I would be.
Is it more of a wait-and-see thing?
And it's as much about what I think of where we are, which I'm more positive than when we started camp, seriously, about what our chances are. And so I think if we saw an opportunity to take a little of the future and put it on this team, I'd do it if it would help us.
Did you hear that? Hold on. That was Jerry Jones? It almost seems like we got the wrong soundbite, because usually in the month of Jerry, right, because it goes March, April, May, June, July, Jerry. This is just, we always, training camp, get a lot of Jerry Jones. Usually he's saying some cryptic BS. Only I know about that. I know what we're going to do. I know what's in the plans. I know where we'd like to go, and I think that it's a positive direction. You're like, okay, what does that mean? Usually Jerry is speaking in riddles, but now Jerry's telling you, yes, I do want that. And I feel more confident now at the end of training. Usually Jerry begins training camp with all this pie in the sky, right? That first press conference, like, Jerry. He walks out, overshadows the head coach, Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy, overshadows the head coach. It's the Jerry Jones show. And he doesn't want anybody else to have that spotlight. Even this year, Brian Schottenheimer. You hear more about Jerry than you do Schottenheimer. But he, instead of speaking in riddles, he's telling you straight up, I'm ready. I'm willing to go get the big fish. And I think that big fish is Max Crosby. It's the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Jerry Jones said, I'm willing to make the big trade. I told you yesterday, Von Miller is a valuable pickup for the Cowboys. They are one move away. They are one defender away from being a contender, from possibly winning the NFC East this year. And I think that defender, I think what the guy who would become the face of 2026, the Dallas Cowboys, is Max Crosby. If I'm Jerry, I'm pulling a Les Snead, the GM of the Rams, who notably has said, I don't give a rat's ass about draft picks. I want players to win now. That's the Rams approach. Jerry, if you're going to win it before the big exit, if you want to win now, it's time to call Las Vegas and say, listen, take our 2028 first rounder, take our 2030 first rounder, take our 2028 fourth rounder, and give me Max Crosby. You already tried to trade him to Baltimore. We know he's been on the trade block. We know after he blew up on Kirk Cousins and got in a fight with your quarterback, he might not be happy. Give me Max Crosby. We'll give Max Crosby a home. We'll pair him with a Von Miller and a Quinnen Williams, and we'll win in Dallas with a much improved defense. If you are Jerry and you're done with the cryptic stuff, you really want to win now, you want to buy now, you want to trade now, you want to pay kids now, then open up the door for Max Crosby. Open up the door to win. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM 375 at the Drake Toll Show YouTube channel. It's Tuesday and time for Dead or Alive. Addie Bates produces, but no Laura Jimenez today. Addie, is it me versus you?
No, I think we have a caller. I think we have Sawyer in Virginia. Sawyer, come on up. You and I are going to go head to head. So what's going to happen? Drake's going to ask us some questions, and we have to say whether or not this person is dead or alive. Is that correct, Drake? Or you're going to describe a person?
Sawyer, good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Oh, Sawyer, what do you do for a living?
I don't really have a job.
All right. Listen, the market right now is really tough to get into. It's tough to crack into. The day will come. All right, Sawyer, here's how it's going to work. Dead or alive today. I'm going to give you a figure from history and what they did. You tell me dead or alive. All right. You ready, Sawyer?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Former wife of the president, Jimmy Carter. Her name is Rosalind Carter. Dead or alive, Sawyer?
Dead.
Ooh, Addie?
I think my tactic is I'm just going to say the opposite of Sawyer every time. So I'll say alive.
Don't do this. You know she is sadly passed on. 2023.
Yeah, but...
Sawyer, point on the board. Sawyer's got a point at the. Oh, don't sound too excited. There are hiring firms everywhere that are chomping at the bit. All right, Addie, your turn to go first. Then we'll pitch it to Sawyer. Max Factor Jr., dead or alive today? He is the president of Max Factor Company.
Alive.
Okay. Factor is he's a former makeup mogul. Sawyer. Yep. Sawyer. Max Factor, dead or alive?
I think alive.
Wow. Sawyer, I do have bad news. Max Factor is in fact dead. He would have been 123 years old today. So happy belated
okay.
to Max Factor. He's no longer with us. All right, let's keep going. Sawyer still has. That's right. Still by one here. You're killing it.
Okay.
Sawyer, dead or alive? Roman Polanski. He is
Drake.
Yep, he's a director, and he's the former husband of Sharon Tate. Roman Polanski.
I'm gonna go with my instincts and say dead.
Okay, instinct says dead. I would have also said dead. Laura, Addie.
Maybe not do Roman Polanski. Please just look up what he's done. He's alive.
He is 93. Can you believe it? I thought he was dead. I couldn't believe it.
And there's a reason why he's not in the States.
Yeah, in Argentina. He's in Argentina. All right, last one here to win the game, Sawyer. It's Addie's first, though. Dead or alive, actor from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He played Jeffrey. It's a butler, maybe? Joseph Marcel. Addie, dead or alive?
Alive.
Sawyer?
I'm gonna just go dead.
Oh, he is alive, meaning we're tied one apiece. All right, last one here. It is your this is good. Sawyer, it's yours first. Felipe Calderon, former president of Mexico, dead or alive?
Dead?
Oh, Addie.
I'll say he's alive.
He's alive.
No!
Sawyer, thanks for playing. Addie Bates wins dead or alive today. Sawyer, have a good day.
Oh, okay, bye.
Okay, bye. It's Addie Bates producing. Roy Lee runs the board. Thanks to Sawyer, Virginia, for the phone call. To Arma Williams, Bruce Gilbert, Ryan McGuire, and Colin Jones. Thanks for a job. It's been, always will be. You better, you bet. Coming up, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, the Drake Toll Show.
This is West.